If you're feeling deja vu, it's because it's me again, Christine. What's up, Cupcake Crafts? I am going to take you on a vlog for this week of my week in the life for my small crochet plushie business and crochet tools and accessories. So thank you for joining me today. It is Sunday, the day after my big Lunar New Year market, and I just have a ton of stuff to do today. A mix of both crochet and not crochet. So I actually, last night when I got home, I typically do not crochet immediately after a market, but I did last night a little bit just because I had things in my mind that I wanted to do. So I made some chicken nuggets, or just nuggets, emotional support nuggets. I made 5 little nugget bodies. Aside from that, we watched some Olympics. I had missed the opening ceremonies and all of that because it had just been a crazy week, but I was excited to finally watch some of the Olympics. So my husband and I did that. My kids popped in and out to see some skiing, and pretty much just the skiing. They didn't care about anything else. But now today I have just finished filming my recap video of the market. I had to film the outro to my vlog video because I always forget to do that. Maybe I won't this time, who knows. But I need to paint some safety eyes because I had promised that I would do a small replenishment of my last drop that was so successful it sold out the day it went live, and I would like to get just a small batch of them out for a drop on the 15th because I hate that people missed out on it because I've never sold out of anything so quickly and was very grateful for that. But I want to make a few more sizes of those to get those out. But then I also want to just start making my March eye design. With that, I want to do some little crochet projects today. I have a couple custom orders as a result of this market. I have to do a fire horse, and I'm doing a pattern test for Snuggle Beans Crochet for her horse bundle pack. I'm not doing all of that today. I'm just sharing some of the things that need to happen this week. So, and last but not least, I do need to send out orders to complete the last round of orders from my shop launch. Last weekend, I had some more orders trickle in throughout the week, so need to get those out so that they can go to the post office tomorrow morning. And I am if you've seen any of my most recent videos, I did have some packages that were dropped off to the post office that they never actually marked as received. And it looks like now the majority of them have been, but there's like 2 that are still showing as awaiting receipt from the post office. And they had told me that we just didn't scan them when they came here, but they'll get scanned at some point along the way. That's not reassuring, but it does look like that happened with a few of them. And then the ones that are outstanding, one is going to Washington State, so it is further away. So I could see that being the case. And then one's Alaska, so same. So yeah, I'm just hoping that those will appear in their system either today. I know it's Sunday, but sometimes stuff happens in terms of tracking, or tomorrow morning. But want to keep an eye on those, and just in general, make sure everything is looking okay from the shop perspective and things are updated and ready for the small shop update mid-February. But beyond that, just kind of having a slow, cozy day. So I'll take you along with some of that. I have my 3D printer going, making some more walking yarn spinners because those did well at my market and I just needed to replenish them, and had kind of been like trying to wait to see how people were responding to them. And yeah, I guess really quick for an update too on that front, the 3D tap to follow signs. So I am going to go forward with the tap to follow signs with this launch on the 15th. I'm going to pause on the checkout stand just because I'm finding that Android users, like, it seems to work fine for various social media types. Someone is walking their dog off leash, which I'm sure it's a very sweet dog, but this dog is like, it just ran after a runner that was going the opposite direction. People, leash your dogs unless you're in like a dog park or an area that actually is meant for off-leash dogs. Like, sorry, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I could tell that the runner was not impressed that this dog came running after him. Okay, I am a dog lover. I have my dog. She is in the other room, but she does not take well to other dogs randomly running up to her. And I don't know if she was in our yard, which has like the invisible fence, and she knows where she can go and she stays within that. If like a dog happens to run into there. What was I saying before I went off on my tangent? Oh, I do need to make some stitch markers. I am low on quite a few. My snail and strawberry house are completely out. Mushroom items are always out for me, so I have to make some of those. So I'm going to work on some things today and just have some fun puttering around on my business before the Sunday scaries kick in, and I remember that tomorrow is Monday. Afternoon check-in. I made 2 mushy pops with random yarn bits that I had. I pulled out all of these supplies to make the small batch of eyes, and then I pulled out the supplies to make my larger batch of eyes, which will be for a later in the week project if I can't get any done today. I had to get bags prepared for the new amigurumi sticks that I made, which I finished taking pictures of, so I just need to bag them up, list them, put them as draft mode / ready to go live on Saturday. And what else have I done? I pulled the items for my orders that I have to ship just to make sure everything was good to go. I do need to send one email because I somehow had listed that I had a certain amigurumi stick pair in stock, and I do not. I have something very similar, and all I can think is like maybe I pulled the wrong one at some point to sell, but I don't know. Anyways, I might look for it a little bit more, but I don't want to waste too much time on looking. But I just want to offer the person an alternative or a refund of that item. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. My friend did come by to shop my yarn collection because she is going out of town and she'll be gone for like a month, and needed some yarn that she wasn't able to get in advance of her trip. So with that, then she also got some safety eyes and some plushies. So yeah, it's been busy. I felt like time was going really slow and I was getting a ton done, and then all of a sudden I was like, how is it already 3 o'clock? I have so many cute amigurumi sticks coming into the shop. Oh, I dropped the bead, the little stopper.
Wake up, I don't know if I should. The situation isn't looking too good. Old couch with a new set of stains. If you got money in your pocket, I could go for some change. I say I'm too young to be acting my age. Yeah, I'm so ironic when I'm hiding the pain. Let's call it bad luck. I'm so easy to...
I think this might be my favorite design from the new collection. I just like this little gnome. It's cute. Once I finish this task, I will put these aside to log them in later because I don't feel like doing that right now. And then I will probably finally turn on Heated Rivalry to finish up the season and be caught up on that. I have small ones and large ones in here, so I'm trying to like not grab the small ones because I have to put stickers on those bags still, so I'm not ready to pack those just yet. There's like so many little things that goes into each item, and why it's not always just like a straightforward task of logging new inventory. And then I had some that were just extras of the other ones. This tiger is really cute too. I had just pulled aside ones that I needed to take photos of, and I only need one of each size to do that. So if I had more than one, I went ahead and bagged it ahead of time so I didn't have to spend time with that. A couple more small to throw in there. Okay, we'll put this aside and clean out my space to start working on eyes, because once I have the eyes set up, I can kind of just hunker down and watch a show at the same time. So, yeah, now I'm gonna go into like full goblin mode over here while I do that. I might share some of the eye painting, I might not, I don't know, we'll see. It is later in the evening. I have just packed up a bunch of orders that I'm going to get out tomorrow. Because of this most recent USPS issue, I'm just going to have them scan each package because I'm annoyed. It looks like, I checked again tonight, and it looks like all of the packages are now accounted for, except, of course, for one, which is the person that reached out and made me aware that there was an issue with the orders in the first place. That's one thing I'm not crazy about with Shopify, is when the order is completed, like it's sent out, it automatically marks itself as fulfilled, but I can't find a way to filter it based on tracking status. So I can see various tracking statuses. Sorry, bell on the floor. I can see the tracking status if I like scroll through everything, but it just becomes a challenge because I just had that in-person market, and so now my orders also include the in-person orders. So it's like I just have to kind of dig through details to find what I'm looking for. But I was able to manually go through and see all of the orders that were marked as label created, and that being the final status. And now it's just the one. Even the package that was going to Alaska has checked in somewhere, though it's a little more comforting because that one, the check-in was just yesterday in Portland, Oregon, and the one that's missing is going to Washington State, so like there's a chance it could just not have checked in yet. Regardless, I've messaged with the customer. I'll pick that up after. And depending on how tracking looks tomorrow, if it suddenly appears, fantastic. If not, I painted 2 extra sets of the Shattered collection, even though that's not the collection that they ordered. But I painted 2 extra sets so that I can send those out as the replacement sets. And then there were a couple other items that I have in stock in my shop that had been ordered. So it's just frustrating that like this happened, and hopefully it really is just a fluke, but I'm real annoyed about it because it's been a hassle and has really kind of just made me stress about this more. I mean, I probably should have been more concerned about it, but I just haven't had anything happen in the last 10 months that I've been shipping stuff. Okay, I'm going to show now I'm going to do some of the packing of eyes. So I made a new batch, a small batch of the Shattered collection. So you can see the lighting isn't great because it's the evening, but I did one 35 millimeter, two 30s, 5 25s, and 5 20s. But again, those 20s may be going out as a backup pair. Let's see. Yes, that'll fit. So I'm just going to take you with me while I pack these up. I'll put in their backs, and then I'll go into the other room and do the final step, which is the sticker with kind of the details about things to know about safety eyes. Oh, one other thing that I had worked on, I made a new yarn spinner. I love this one. So, sorry, there was fuzz on it. This is a sunflower design. Of course, I am almost out of this yellow, but I just ordered some more today. But I think it is so cute, and the spin is very nice. That's like my number one test when I'm making things, is to make sure it has a good spin. So I hope to also have those sunflower spinners in my shop for the drop on the 15th. Okay, all set. I am going to go into the other room, do the stickers for this, and call this done for the evening. I finished Heated Rivalry. Oh my god, I almost cried. And so I'm gonna go watch something else or start an audiobook. I was starting a true crime on Netflix, but I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep watching that right now. I have a print job that's happening and it's like 4% left, but apparently there's an error, so I'll go check on that. All right, I don't know if I'll be back this evening though, so I'll check in again tomorrow. I'm set up in my dining room, which has become my additional workspace for some of these projects. We never use our dining room, so we decided to turn it into just like the storage for all my products because they were starting to take over my office. But I thought I'd talk a little bit more about my 3D printer, which I just started another job going on it. I am going to be attaching the felties to my notions kits. I did get new colors. Well, I had these bags and I was using them for some other things, but I actually reached out to the felty designer printer that I use and asked her if she could make the crochet hooks in more colors than the standard ones she'd been doing so that I could use more of these bag colors. Personally, I really wanted a green crochet hook so I could do green bags because green's my favorite color. But anyways, the 3D printer. So I am newish to this 3D printer game. I got mine last summer and I got a Bamboo A1 Mini. I have since upgraded to the Bamboo P2S, which they released in November, I think. I just really I loved my Mini. It was fantastic. Bamboo, I think, is really great for people who are looking for kind of a plug-and-play solution. You do have to have some tech savviness to do it, or at least understand that you will have to troubleshoot things. And you can either just do things solely through their app and like download designs through their app or a couple other websites to get files. And you can have a very fun 3D printing experience from that, though you might be limited in terms of what you can actually make and sell from a commercial licensing standpoint. Or you can also like dive into the world of learning how to make your own 3D print. So I have started to dabble in that. The A1 Mini, I got it with the AMS. If I'm throwing out a bunch of words here and you're like, I don't care about this, then fast forward. But just so you know, the AMS is what makes it where you can do multiple colors in a 3D print. Otherwise, you're just doing one colorway and maybe gluing pieces together or whatever. But having AMS as well makes it where you can do more than one color in your 3D printing projects. So I had the A1 Mini with AMS. It was great, but the Mini is that. It's mini. So the printing plate is smaller. It's a little bit slower than some of their other models because it is kind of like an entry-level 3D printer. So as I was starting to print more and more, I wanted to upgrade, and I had heard that Bamboo was coming out with a new printer that would, again, have AMS, that would be more user-friendly, simplified. I guess it would kind of be the same, but like allow for the advanced printing capabilities and also be bigger. And this is coming from someone who really does not know a ton about 3D printing, but I'm sharing my experience and like the things I read up about as I was looking into this. So anyways, so I went with the P2S, which was a new model when I got it. So, you know, there's things to be said about that and like the hiccups that you could potentially get from a newer design, though it's from an established company. I have definitely had more issues with my P2S than I ever did with my Mini. I very rarely had issues with my Mini. It was mostly like clogged filament. But the P2S, I love it. I love that I can print bigger things. I can print more. I don't feel like it's necessarily faster at printing, but I can definitely print more. So like these stitch markers, I can double the amount I'm printing in one go than I was able to with my Mini. But I like that batch I just showed you where I was like, oh, there was an issue. I have printed 6+ batches of those today. Each batch takes an hour to print. And the first couple of batches had one in the top corner that was like messed up every time I did it. And I hadn't had that issue before, but it was bugging me. So then I just deleted that one stitch marker from the corner and the issue went away. So then I had some issues when I would change out the filaments. It would tell me that there was filament stuck in the tube when there was not, so I just had to like feed it in again. Like I couldn't just leave the machine alone and press print with everything that was already set up and not anticipate that there wouldn't be an issue. Like I had an issue with almost every single print today. Little things, but things that I had to like manually get up and fix in order to get a proper print. I never had that with my A1 Mini. So I'm just giving this as like background because I know a lot of people have asked me about 3D printers and my recommendations and suggestions. And again, I'm very new to this, but I am using my 3D printer a lot and I do love the Bamboo products. I'm just a little annoyed by how many issues I'm having with this P2S and how kind of high maintenance it is. Because again, I have done at least 6 batches of these today, and then to walk in with this latest one and have some random error, like messed up print on it. I couldn't explain how that happened or what happened or why, but that seems to be kind of the trend with this machine. I still wouldn't, like I actually looked up, should I get another one? Because I'm using it so much and I can foresee myself like continuing to use it for things. And no, I'm not ready to get another one because I did get it on sale for like Black Friday. So it was a fantastic price. And when I looked it up today or yesterday, I was like, it costs how much? Because I did not pay that. But yeah, I will not be getting another one anytime in the near future. But I just wanted to share some of my experience with using it because it is a fantastic tool and I am doing things 3D printed that I never thought I would be able to do. And it is a neat machine, but you definitely have to be ready to be tech support. And I had an issue the other day where it was just like nonstop giving me an error message. And I was on various websites. I was on Reddit. Like I was all over the internet looking for information about how to fix it. And it just kind of comes with the territory. And I fixed it. I don't know if it was quite the problem that I ultimately found the solution for that was causing it. And it resulted in me like disposing of the printer nozzle, the hot end that I was using, which is like the cost of that can add up and you don't want to just be throwing those out. And I imagine they're supposed to last a fairly long time, but I threw one out because it was all messed up and it had been giving me grief since kind of I started printing with it. So I don't know if my machine was just like set up wrong or what, but that's just a little insight into my 3D printing experience. Again, I still love my machine and I think some of the things I've made are so cool and I am excited to continue to make things, but I just want to share so that it's not this assumption of like, it's super easy, everything's fantastic. And that's why it's taking a little time too for stuff like the tap to connect devices. I am planning on doing the signs and maybe by the time this video comes out, I will actually have released some of them. I have customized the design to the way I wanted, which took much trial and error and a lot of damaged prints. But with that, like, I also have had issues with some of what I have printed along the way to where I'm not ready to do the full tap to checkout kind of counter because I think there's a combination of issues with that. I'm not satisfied with the print quality just yet. Also, I think the NFC tags, I need to like do some research on this, but I think that they maybe don't have the same functionality with Androids because I used mine at the market this weekend and they were definitely like people that had iPhones, I felt like immediately went to all the right links. But anytime it was an Android, they weren't able to pull up whatever it was that they were tapping over or hovering over, depending on what button it was on my stand. And when I would say like, oh, do you have an Android? And they'd say, yeah, I was like, yeah, I think that's the issue. But I don't know if that's like an Android limitation or if it's a setting that has to be adjusted. But I don't feel comfortable selling something and then having people say like, well, I did tap to pay and people weren't able to pay. So that's a little background on that. And then let me show you like an example of a bad print that happened. So I wanted to do these little like tap to connect keychains so that you could have like on your craft bag, you could have your Instagram attached or whatever. And I thought they'd be really fun. I have a couple that I made, but I made them originally wrong. And then I figured out what I did wrong and I tried to redo them. And like, this is where the NFC chip is supposed to go in. And it just was like becoming a giant mess on my 3D printer to the point where I caught it in time and was able to stop it and pull out the NFC tag so I can use it like elsewhere. But it's just stuff like this that you kind of have to troubleshoot. And that's why it's just not as easy or fast to launch some of these things. I think there's like a cat under this table. I know that there's one in the other room complaining that he's starving. He's not. He is fed regularly. But then, you know, there's things like this really cool sunflower spool that are just amazing. So yes, all the stuff that I do sell on my shop, which is like mainly those yarn spinners, I do have the licensing rights for, so I do pay an extra fee to be able to actually sell the designs that I make from those if it's not a design that I have made myself. Like the eye installers, I made those designs myself. But all right, I can't put any more of the felties on without doing some of the HTV work, and I might do that now. My workday just ended, so I'm trying to get some stuff done while I have light and motivation before I just melt into the couch and crochet. I have done some chickens during meetings today because I have chickens memorized, and I just do like the outer shell husk and build up a tiny army of them and then come back later and stuff them all. That sounds so bad when you're thinking that it's chickens, but you know what I mean. It's crochet plushies. Okay, I'm going to do some of this HTV while I'm motivated. Print job is done. Now it looks like there was an issue. I don't know how that happens sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm working on my pattern test for Snuggle Beans Crochet Haley the horse. I'm doing the Arabian white. And if I put in that time lapse, you saw I had some trouble just figuring out where to put the eyes because I wanted to make sure the placing was good, but I love how they came out. So yeah, just working away on that tonight, and I'm about to start on Netflix, Even If This Love Disappears Tonight, which one of my favorite book talkers recommended and said, don't read anything about it, just watch it. And I have a feeling it's going to like ruin my mood, but I'm ready for it. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this, test some more. I think it's on to the legs and arms. It's a horse, so it's all legs. And then yeah, just chugging away. So it was a busy day after work today. I did discover I have next Monday off because it's a holiday, and I am overjoyed. So I am very much excited to have a long weekend, and my Sunday scaries for next week. I know it's only Monday and I'm already thinking about my Sunday scaries for next week. That's not good, is it? But yeah, that'll be nice to have a day off. All right, I'm gonna work on this and start this movie. Wish me luck. I just finished the movie. It had no right to do me wrong like it did. I also have almost finished the pattern test. I need to do the stuffing on the body. I'm going to do weighted pellets, and I did the regular body form. I really like the color combination that she did. On the photos, I think it was all done with like eyeshadow or whatever, and I wasn't going to do that. So I did it with yarn just for the legs, and I think I'll just do the mane itself really fun. And then I have the ears. So I'm going to call it a night because I'm tired and I actually do want to get a decent night of sleep tonight. So I think I'm going to go read for a little bit and call this successful. So I did 4 chicken bodies today. I have this yarn here for doing some more chicken bodies tomorrow. But if I could have 10 total in the next few days, then I can work on other things. I'll work on other things in the meantime anyways, but if I could get 10 total, that'll just take weight off my shoulders. All right, I will check back in tomorrow. Happy Thursday. It is a bit of a later check-in time today. I finished my workday and immediately got started on a bunch of things that I had just planned, tasks I wanted to get done. And I realized I never unboxed this little package I got yesterday. It's from Leitner Studios. I had seen them at a market that I attended during the holiday season. And so I started following them at that time. And they posted on Instagram the other day, or even one of the markets that they were participating in posted, and I like immediately ran to their page and snatched this up. So cute. Oh my gosh. It's so cute. Kissing puffins. This is what it says on the back. So, in case it wasn't clear, I love muffins. I love puffins. So I'm guessing I'll put that like up there next to kind of that water print from Bright Kind Creative. I love it. It's so cute. yeah, so I was just very excited about that, and I was having one of my bad days last week where I was overwhelmed with everything, and I really need to get a hold on my therapy shopping because things like this happen, but it does make me very happy. Aside from that, today I did some more chicken husks during meetings. This one is like a super soft Bernat blanket, like cake that it goes from like light to dark back to light again, and but not quite as light, like the dark is almost black, but this is from the outer edge. I was thinking it would be really pretty for some of my small dragons, but I have a feeling the color variation wouldn't be the right direction on it. Like I want it to be dark to light, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make another chicken just to get to the darkest point so I could do that. And then this one is one of my favorite chicken colors, and this one I use for my snowy owls a lot. But anyways, feeling pretty good about my chicken husks. I have 8. Yeah, I have 8. And I had pulled aside some other variegated yarns to make more. But I think with that, I will probably be good on chicken husks after tomorrow. I finished my Snuggle Beans crochet pattern test for Haley the horse, the Arabian White. I love her so much. I did this little like gray streak in her hair and then a spot of purple to kind of go with the fact that there's like a little bit of purple there. And the eyes, I can't remember what eyes these are. They weren't like final eyes that I released, but they were one of the kind of test runs that I did that led to a final design. So yeah, I think I showed that yesterday in my update, but I think that she looks wonderful. And I really like using the fur yarn for the mane and tail just because honestly, I don't love crocheting hair for like the unicorn pattern and stuff like that, and not against her pattern, but just in general, it can be very tedious to do multiple pieces of hair that are crocheted, and doing the fur just was easy. And also, I have a bunch of fur yarn that I don't know I will be using ultimately very often, so this takes care of that. So yeah, Haley the horse pattern test is done, which is perfect timing because I think that pattern test is due in 2 days. And it was one of those things I was like, no more pattern tests, and I saw it and couldn't resist. Tonight, I'm going to make, I think, a couple capybaras, and then I need to make some more frogs. I need to make wizard frogs and cowboy frogs. And honestly, I also need to make the farmer chicken frog. So I'm not gonna make all of those frogs tonight, but the wizard and the cowboy have the same base. So if I can just make a bunch of frogs, that way I can go from there with my frog production. Beyond that, I have been printing yarn spinners for my shop drop, and I made some new amigurumi sticks for the shop drop. Here are a couple of my favorite new ones that I will be releasing, and I think I'm most excited about this one. It's calcifer. So yeah, I need to glue all of those, but I have a whole basket of amigurumi sticks that need to be glued, and then I will photograph. The majority of them are new ones, so I'll have to photograph all of the new ones, put the safety stopper bead on it, and pack them up and have them ready for the drop. But yeah, it's been very productive this evening. I also had like a box and tub of yarn that I never put into my cabinets when I moved offices at the end of the year. And they've just been sitting in the hallway, being an eyesore. And I cleaned that up, consolidated it, got it down to just like one small container. And the only reason that container isn't in here too is it's like a lot of duplicates of some Bernats and stuff, which is incentive to get through my Bernat collection. So yeah, feeling pretty good about all the stuff that I got done It's still early in the evening. I just started watching my Granny by Nature gals for their Tuesday update. And I'm gonna get my dinner cooking, and while I wait for that, start crocheting. So I'll try to check back in again later tonight to share the status of like the capybaras and or frogs, or yeah, anything else I get done. It's Thursday night. I am freezing in my house tonight, which is weird because we've had like warmer weather the last couple days, but I think that our like heater, air conditioning doesn't know what to do with that. So I actually didn't get a lot done last night. I feel like I kept getting interrupted, phone calls, text messages, things like that, and then I was just tired. So I think I only did 2 frogs last night. I'm using Premier Parfait Chunky in Sour Apple, and with 1 skein I was able to make 5 of these little frogs. These will be cowboy frogs and wizard frogs, and I got this far on the 6th frog. So I'm going to finish the 6th frog and then probably call it done for the night with frogs, and I'll do the hats and wizard capes and everything tomorrow. But I'm just very like, I can't decide. There's so many things I want to do, not all of which are like actually written down as things I need to do. But because of that, I'm like, well, I want to make this, but then I also need to make this. And so I think because I've just done a bunch of like batch makes, I'm going to do something different and fun. So we'll see what that is in a little bit, but that's the plan. And then, you know, I'll go back to making the accessories for this. I did buy a new pattern today, and I'm hoping I can do that before the end of this week's video because it looked really cute. And again, I'm just like, I'm having to write things down in addition to my actual prep list because I'm having those moments of like, oh my gosh, I need to make that next. And oh, don't forget, you need to make this next. I have 6 sushi trays that I had printed, and I need to make sushi cats. And like, I really want to, but then I'm like, oh, but first make this. So I just need to like hone in on something. Aside from that, I think I did 3 or 4 more chicken bodies today. So I have 12 total. I'm done with making the bodies, I think. I should be good. And so I'll probably just over the next few days, like put the eyes in, stuff them, all that fun stuff. I did glue my amigurumi stick, so I'm all caught up on my amigurumi stick, both replenishment and new ones, new designs. So that's ready for the drop on Sunday, my brain. Yeah, so it's a lot's been going on. It was a busy day at work, so all of this stuff was like during lunch, again, in between meetings, I can glue things, or not in between meetings, but in meetings where I'm just listening, I can glue things, and keeps me, it's like a fidget thing. I did stab my finger with my glue. It has like this little, it's not quite a needle, though it might as well be, that you put into the glue stopper to like keep it shut. And I was actually getting ready to throw away this little glue tube because I was done with it and I was trying to put the stopper in, and I don't know why I didn't just throw it away since it was empty, but I jabbed myself in the finger really hard and it hurt for a long while, but it's fine. It should be fine for tomorrow to let it breathe. But yeah, I just, what a day. Okay, I'm going to go finish this frog, put these frogs aside, and grab some yarn for a different project and get working on that. And I think I've been watching YouTube. I think I'm going to watch a couple more YouTube videos maybe, and then switch over to Netflix for the night because there was some show or something. Whoop. There was some show. I hate when you like go to their main screen and it just starts playing the trailer with sound. but it's something that I wanted to watch that I think I bookmarked, so I might need to go find what that was. Okay, I'll be back. It is Saturday morning and I am doing my last check-in, but I'm actually going to walk through all of the projects that I finished this week. I didn't end up checking in Thursday or Friday. I definitely didn't on Friday. I don't think I did on Thursday, just because I got really like honed in on all the projects I was working on and things like that, and wanted to show something a little bit more exciting, which is the actual finished products. So let me get my notebook. All right, I made 4 cowboy frogs. So 4 of these are complete, which now gives me 6 for my inventory. I don't know if I mentioned before, but someone had asked about purchasing 6, and I was in the thick of like market prep and told them I wouldn't be able to until after the market. I don't know if that ship has sailed, but this is a popular item, so I feel like having 6 of them is still good to have and will spare me additional work in the future if they do not sell as part of that request. But I also have the 2 leftovers that I'm going to do wizard frogs because I sold out of wizard frogs. And then before my next book fair market, which is in 2 weeks, I would like to have farmer frogs, and I think I have another frog pattern. So this pattern, the both wizard frog and cowboy frog, is from Clover Crochet. The O in crochet is a 0, but definitely recommend it. It's so cute. All of those items have been a hit at my markets. They're adorable, and people get really excited when they see the little cowboy or wizard, especially with this guy all tangled up in his lasso. And fairly quick / easy make. I had a lot of batch making going on this week, which brings me to 11 chickens. Chickens. I did them, hold on, this is about to get real awkward, in all sorts of color variations. And I just, as I've mentioned, this is a very popular item for me. So I was like, I might as well just make them all now so that I don't have to stress about it. And even if I don't sell them like crazy at the next market, they generally just sell so well that this will keep me set up for hopefully a little while. Maybe not hopefully. I mean, I'd love for all of my chickens to sell out, but this is the Oak and Marlow Mabel chicken pattern. And yeah, I just use all of the Bernat variegated, and I did 1 of the Stardew Blue because I think the only chickens I have left are maybe 3 of the Stardew, not 3, 2 of the Stardew Blue ones after that last market. So I went with more of the natural, real looking chicken colors this time. Okay. In addition, I had talked about in my last market recap how the chicks and eggs just do really well for me. That's also the Oak and Marlow pattern. And I was recently reminded that there's another chicken egg pattern, and I actually owned it and had never made it. So that sounds typical. But it is the Cable and Canvas popping chicken egg. And I thought maybe that would actually be easier to make than the Oak and Marlow chicken mini chick. Mainly because working in Bernat with something so small can be a pain, though this is worked in Premier Parfait Chunky, which if you know, you know, it just sheds a lot when you're working with it. But I think it is perfect. I don't have to worry about the chick being separated from the egg. And I just think it's something that people will be excited about. So thank you, Janet and Maddie, for reminding me of this pattern. And then when I went to look to see if I needed to buy it, I was like, no, I own it. Because of course I do. So little chick and egg, and I did it with the arms because why not? I might do a little tuft of fur on top. I haven't decided. There's an option for that in the pattern, and I think it would fit, but how cute. So gonna make some more of these, and I will probably sell them for $12, which is what I sell the separate ones for. And I don't know if I'll put them in the same basket. I probably will. I'll just fix my sign because my sign says the chicks are removable. Okay, so that's cable and canvas. Then also cable and canvas, I did 2 mushroom pops, which I think I shared already. I just used scrap yarn for these. I had some like pink yarn lying around that I needed to use. And this next one is the first time I've ever done a pattern by Crochet by Jenna. I watch her videos and I think I have a couple of her patterns, but I'd never made them. And I recently saw her release the sitting axolotl, and I've been looking for a different axolotl version than what I had been doing. And I couldn't resist. And I love it so much. It is so cute. I did this in Elise Veludo. These are my eyes from my lunar collection from Lunar New Year. And I love the way this turned out. It is quite a bit of work because you are doing all of the like pieces kind of individually and all of these, but I feel like it would be good for batch making, and none of the pieces are big enough that it is like a big undertaking. So I did this like multitasking, you know, during my lunch break. I would make these guys and then everything. Like, I believe it's actually no-sew too, aside from the surface crochet of this. Yeah, I think it's no-sew. So yeah, I love this little axolotl baby. I'm guessing I'll probably sell it for like 35, 32. It's a good size. And I need to make another one so I can actually see how long it took me, because when I was first making it, I was like, and then what do I need to do? And then what do I need to do? And now that I know, I think it'll come together much quicker. So it looks very cute. I don't think I put weighted pellets in the base. I didn't, but it is heavy. I think just because there's a lot of components like into it. So that is the Crochet by Jenna sitting axolotl. And I feel like pink axolotls are the most natural and as a result sell the best for me, but I do other colors as well. This, I didn't need another pattern, but I did. When this came out, I had just discovered Crochet by Naren, and they released this pattern this week, and I immediately ran to Etsy and purchased it. And it is Ollie the Woodland Snail. It has a little like snail backpack, and I did the fuzzy accents on it, and there's little butterflies. There's a worm friend that you could put on too, but to be honest, I was fighting the clock. I was racing the clock, or the sun actually, because I finished this yesterday right at the end of my workday, and like yesterday it got dark really quickly, and I just could tell that the light wasn't going to be great for me to take this outside to take photos. And I was so excited about how it had turned out that I was like, I must get out there and take these photos. So I didn't make the little worm friend. I feel like I will probably make another one of these, and maybe that one will have the worm friend. And I love that you could do like variations with all of this, like where you put the little leaf sprouts, the butterflies, if you include them or not. Her little worm buddy was on the shoulder. It's so stinking cute. This is like 100% up my alley in terms of things I love to make for that whimsical vibe. So yeah, and these eyes, I think were from my Bloom collection. So I love it. She does 18mm black safety eyes, like basic safety eyes on her design. So I actually had pulled out my 20mm painted ones, and I put them in. I was like, I don't know, I'm not falling in love with it. And I was like, let me just try 25. And I think that the big eyes just, I don't know, something about like a creature with like big, beautiful eyes. So yes, Crochet by Naren. This just came out, and it was such a fun make. I made this in Premier Parfait Chunky, which I was really torn between Elise Veludo and doing this, but I wanted a big color variety, which both have. But I was worried at the size, because I think what she makes it with in her listing is a 4mm hook, if not smaller. So I didn't want it to turn out huge where I'd have to charge a crazy amount. This will probably be between 35 and 40. It is quite a bit of pieces, but it comes together fast, and I just think it's such a like unique creation that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And again, the way that you can like customize all of it, look, it's like giving itself a hug. I love it. Okay, so yeah, I really want to make another one. I don't have time, but I'm sure I will soon. Love, love, love this pattern. Sewing, there's a lot of sewing. And again, it was Premier Parfait, so I clearly hate myself. All right, then the chicken nuggets, I finished them. I have one more item after this, and it's a stunner, so stay tuned. But I made 5 chicken nuggets, did the faces, stuffed them, all of the things. So they're done. Just need to put them in their little container sleeve. And last but not least, I finished the pattern test for my gorgeous pony. This is Haley the horse from Snugglebeans Crochet, and I did the Arabian White mod for the pattern test. I love her so much. She's my little like punk rock pony, but like dainty punk rock, like just that little peak. So that is her. The pattern is out now. It is beautiful. The testers made so many gorgeous horses from the variations. She has 4 different variations, including an official fire horse, but there's also a Palomino and Blackshire. I don't know horses, but they all look legit. So definitely check this out. Snugglebeans Crochet, Haley the horse pattern bundle. And that is what I made this week. I have been making products like crazy for the shop launch, the shop drop. It was originally just going to be a replenishment of the February safety eyes, especially the shattered collection, since that sold out in the first day. And I kind of got carried away with like new 3D prints. So I have so many yarn spinners and even more yarn spinners than I originally planned. I have a new version of the Sakura flower that I think I like even better. And a paw print, a sunflower, regular flower, new amigurumi sticks. I'm replenishing stitch markers. It is going to be a busy day getting ready for that. So can we take a moment to appreciate that for the first time in ever, I tagged and loaded the inventory for all of the items I made this week within the week that I made them. My market's 2 weeks away. Who am I? I'm speechless. Okay, another update. It has taken 3 attempts. This is the 3rd device I have gotten, but I finally have a barcode scanner that works. So check this out. This is my shop on my iPad. I don't have the card reader connected because I'm not actually selling at the moment. Here's my little mushy pop and the barcode. So we'll do like a look at that. How cool is that? That's part of the motivation behind why I actually had everything scanned in time this week, because I like this. It's going to make things so much simpler for checking out at markets, and like if I have to step away. Oh my gosh, so exciting. Again, the whole barcode setup I got from Cris at the Enchanted Skein. So if you are thinking of doing barcodes for your space and you are using, I believe it works for Square too, but you can also just do it completely manual and separate and track through the spreadsheet she provides, or you can tie it to your Shopify like I did. But Cris has a whole video talking about the barcode process and getting it set up, the logistics behind it, things like that. So If you're thinking about doing that for your shop, go check out that video. It's amazing. For that. So I'm going to wrap this up here, and then I'm going to shift gears and finish up kind of my last final things I need to do for that, like loading everything into my Shopify, getting it all scheduled. I have a good chunk of it scheduled, but there's still amigurumi sticks I need to load in there, and I actually have to make those stitch markers. I did the drilling and stuff. I just haven't actually like assembled the beads and everything, but that takes time. And because it's a long weekend, I also want to paint eyes, and I just have so many things I want to crochet. I'm very excited about all of the crocheting I'm going to get done. Giving me that one extra day, I feel like I can do it all, and we know that I cannot. But I did finally start checking things off of my list. I had this list, and I was talking to Jen from Space for Sunflowers last night, and I was like, I haven't crossed off a single thing from this list for my market in 2 weeks. And like, I wrote this list immediately after my last market, and I just had all of these things that I had started because they were batch makes, but I didn't finish. Like the chickens weren't done, the nuggets weren't done, all of that stuff. I was like, I need to actually finish something. So last night I just hunkered down, got caught up on some YouTube, not completely, but I did like get a big chunk of YouTube viewing out. I queued up the 3D printer to just churn away while I was doing this, and I'd go in and like change things out and all that. But yeah, I crossed off the chickens, the nuggets, and the cowboy frogs. And that's it. But, you know, because of course I had to throw in some extra things that were not part of the plan. But I'm very happy with what I have accomplished this week. So I am going to go. I hope you enjoyed following along with me for bits and pieces of my very busy week. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to join me for more crochet, small business, chatty fun. I have a huge market. I'm anticipating it's going to be huge. Book fair markets have been fantastic for me thus far. So I have the Raleigh Book Fair in 2 weeks on the 28th of February. I cannot wait. And I think this week I'm going to shift a little bit to focus on bookish makes in particular. So stay tuned and subscribe to join me for those future videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.